Hey, NorCal Carters, this is Jason, and it's April 4th. And tonight, this is NorCal Mondays, and we have Cole Nelson from Cole Nelson Racing with us tonight. And has anyone picked up on the trend for the countdown video? So I need to make another one. And I'm not a video editor, as you can tell. But I will be asking for more pictures of carts between numbers 0 and 60. So I'm messing with that video. So it's basically the countdown video. James Kim from Apex Photography supplied most of those photos for me. The other ones I took at a KPX event a couple of years ago. So yeah, that's where the photos came from. So if we're missing photos, send them over. Carts number 0 through 60. And if you have a 160 or you have a 340, those work too. So yeah, that's it. So you're probably tired of me talking. So let's bring on Cole Nelson. Cole, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So this whole show's the Cole Nelson Racing Show. So we'll have an hour to get into your background, your story, etc. But real quickly, plug your company, tell people where your home track is, and then we'll bring Ashley on.
Yeah, CNR is, it's just my race team. I'm based in Reno, Nevada. I manufacture carts. I think that's pretty unique out here on the West Coast. The business started with my dad and then my grandpa in the early 70s, and now I'm doing it. Cole Nelson Racing you can check out, and InvaderCart.com as well, and I'm also on Facebook.
Very cool. Thank you. And where's your home track?
Reno. NNKC is our home track.
Perfect. And let's bring on Ashley. There we go.
Hey, NorCal. All right, so we got Cole. We had some interesting stuff going on in Prairie City over the weekend. Maybe Jason like to talk about that. We had some stuff going on at Blue Max, a little testing getting done before KPX, and then what else is happening in NorCal, Jason?
Oh man, I did a podcast earlier today of the upcoming events. I can run them down real quick if you want me to. Give me a moment to bring up the list. But as you mentioned, Prairie City, they did the 80cc cart takeover. So there was probably 20 to 30 80cc shifter carts out there at Prairie City. It was a bunch of recreational guys, and I got to be careful how I say that because a number of those guys also race. But for the most part, they just pick 3 or 4 times a year where they all hang out and they go, hey, we're going to dust off our 80s. Can you come out in a month or two? And they pick a track and they go out there. They've done it out at Blue Max in the past. And then, yeah, this past weekend it was out of Prairie City. They did a swap meet. They had a taco truck, a lot of carts. Like, it was pretty cool. And I did a quick little selfie YouTube video. So if you go to NorCal Carters on YouTube, you can see one of their exhibition starts that they did. But everyone's having a good time. It was a lot of fun out there. So yeah, that was out at Prairie City. And then Davis, they had a club race this weekend. So Cole, were you down for that?
We actually had our first club race of the year in Reno.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was here at Reno. I did have a couple of drivers out there in Davis. So.
Are you coming down for the KPX stuff?
I am. Yep.
You are. Okay.
Well,
so you had to split duties then.
Yeah, I know it. Yep.
Between your home track and Blue Max.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, home track. We had a pretty good showing at Reno.
Yep.
About 80 entries, I think, total.
Okay.
Yeah, which is pretty good for a club in our region. We've been really working on the facility and the atmosphere and just having a good time out there, and it's really growing, every year. Have a real solid 125 class out there. Mitch Kennedy actually came home with the win in the 125 class this weekend over all the youngsters. So I don't know if you that know Mitch, but
I know Mitch. He's kicked my ass a few times.
And it's good to see you know, and the old guy get the youngsters every once in a while. But yeah, we have a great 206 class. I think CNR we swept all the 4-cycle classes. We won Junior 1, Junior 2, Senior, and Masters. And then Bryce and Kyle, Bryce Dickman ran down in Jacobs for us, and he runs in the senior class, and he put it on pole and won the heat, and then had a little goof with like 4 to go in the main and lost the lead and ended up getting second. But he was representing for CNR Invader down there in Davis. So
nice.
Yeah.
And then you'll make the trip down this weekend, you said, for the KPX race.
Yep.
All right, we did have a question. Cole, does Cole have a specific race he remembers, a favorite?
Man, so many, Josh. So many. You know, it's the races that you either come from the back and just have an incredible victory. I can think of one Pro Tour race I had in Junior 80 at Sonoma. I think it was like a 28-lap feature. And I fell back to like 4th, and then the cart just took so long to come in. But, I mean, it was a 28-lap race, and I picked off 3rd, which was, I believe, like Eddie Caballero. And then I picked off 2nd, and then Alan Chudo was probably a half a straightaway ahead of me, and I ran him down and passed him with 2 to go. That was a pretty solid win. Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah, well, you've been around it for, your whole life.
Yeah.
That's my polite way of saying forever.
Yeah. So we could talk about favorite races forever, for sure. Yeah. I don't know. There's a bunch, but always good memories racing back east too with Kyle Atkins. Did
you run with Kyle?
Yeah, all the time. He was an Invader dealer.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and I believe in 1999 he won the Manufacturers Cup for Invader out there. And that's kind of a cool deal they do back east. WKA Man Cup. They keep tally of manufacturer wins, and the manufacturer with the most wins at the end of the year gets a trophy. But yeah, Kyle, we ran with Kyle, and my dad did. That's where it all started. But yeah,
very cool.
Yep.
Sorry if I doze off on you. It's not that I'm not listening. It's just I'm trying to troubleshoot a wire issue on my end.
All right, we also got comments coming in too, Cole. So our friend John Smith said, I liked watching Cole and his brother, I believe. And it was, I think, the first KA race at Vegas. I'm there, Invader suits.
Yeah, so it was my cousin, Grant Claire. Yeah, we're right when the 100cc started getting big again, we decided to, I did at least, dust off the racing shoes and go give it a good old college try at the Supernats. Yeah, that was a good time.
See, that's my memories of you. Like, obviously, I had the memories of you from Region 11, but then also the early SCUSA years, and when you ran the 60s and the 80s, and
right.
The kids in the shifter carts, like you just can't explain it to people nowadays.
It's the funniest thing. It's really funny. You're like, yeah, cadet with the Cowie 60 on it. I was shifting. Yes. I have a T-shirt of me with in that go-kart. It was the first shifter IKF shifter nationals ever. Jason, you remember that? It was in Xplex.
Yeah.
And we had Ronnie White running an Invader. He was working at CalCart, and he was running 125. I ran 60. That's where the shifting started for sure. Yeah.
All right, our friend Rothweiler said, funny, I was going to mention the race at Sonoma. Longtime Invader supporter. All right. And
Well,
then
this is actually pretty good. We got a lot of, I mean, this is, normally it takes 15, 20 minutes for comments to start rolling in, except for Josh.
Yeah,
we need to give him a top fan badge. But yeah, no, this is good. People are already asking you questions and kind of, reliving some good memories there.
Yeah.
But, before we forget, so you were talking about NNKC, Northern Nevada Kart Club. Their website is nnkcreno.com. But you guys started doing live stream.
We did. We have a club member that was, really, just kind of took it. That's kind of how clubs work. They're like, okay, I got a project and I want this to happen. So he just took it under his wing and made it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really cool to go back and watch it. I mean, we had we had some excellent racing this week because we ran short track, and the live streams. It's fun to go watch for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of one of my favorite things too with some of the other live streams when you're at an event and you're there, you're live, you see an incident happen, and you kind of know, okay, in my head this is what happened on the track. Then you go back and you watch the video, it's like, oh, that's not how I remembered it. So yeah, as more and more tracks do the live stream, it's going to be it's just good for karting, right? It just helps promote the sport.
Yep, 100%.
All right, Cole, what are you looking forward to the most about hosting the Nationals in Reno?
Well, I just want it to be just a huge event with, with people traveling from different regions of the country to show up, and I hope I can make that happen. And I just want it to be, an epic battle of racing. That's kind of what I'm looking forward to, is trying to promote it and really just make it an outstanding event. I mean, it's at my home track, it's in my backyard, that's all great, but I really want to, because, the Nationals were what we all looked forward to in my day, the IKF Grand Nationals. That was the big show,
Yeah.
And if we do a good job of promoting it, and we have an awesome facility, it's a great racetrack. It breeds close racing. We have a giant facility for pits and stuff. So I think if we can get a good group of karters together, it should be a great event. I think that's what I'm looking forward to the most, is just the racing that it brings to to your home track.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. As you know, Prairie City hosted the Nationals last year, and IKF really hasn't done much on, for the IKF Nationals, et cetera, in many years. And then coming out of COVID, Donald, they did a hell of a job hosting it. And it was really cool to see how you have different racers, you have a different type of racing, focusing on the IKF stuff. I think we had drivers as far as Texas, and Joe Cerna or Joe Senna, is he one of your guys?
Yeah, he races for me, and he's out of Minnesota.
Yeah. And that's why I brought him up, because there's a couple long distance travelers there.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope we can. I know the Texas Sprint Kart Series is had 200 entries at NOLA. If we can get some of those guys to show up, and some of the Northwest guys to show up, that are heavy into the KA and the 206 classes. I mean, we could easily have 200 entries in 30, 40 kart fields. And Reno is a facility that can hold that type of race. So, it's a big track. It's almost a mile long. It's.
Oh yeah, you guys have hosted Pro Tour races and everything else up there.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, speaking of IKF Grands, do you know the date off the top of your head?
It is the first week of October, I believe. October, what is that, 7th?
First week of October?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was the following weekend, but it was on top of the Rock finale, I believe, in in Sonoma.
Yeah, let me pull up my calendar. I wasn't ready to do it, but it's fine.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 7, 8, and 9. I want to say.
Right. And we have a big 125 class at Reno. And it's a mix of stock motos and the rock shifter. So we have the option of adding a couple of classes to the IKF grants, and one of the classes is going to be a rock and a stock moto mix 125 class.
Oh, so the rock shifter.
Yeah.
Okay.
We wanted to stay off of that date, and hopefully we can get some shifter guys like Ronnie and Gary and Speed Sense and all the guys that support Sansaru to come to Reno and race their 125s.
Yeah, absolutely. And talk to the guys that are just kind of tuning in and not really familiar with the moniker or the sanctioning body of IKF outside of a paper rule book. You already said the 4-stroke classes in the KA100. That's where the focus is going to be for the big numbers. And you're talking about stock Honda and rock shifter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you guys going to be doing kid cards?
No kid carts.
Okay.
No kid carts. I'm a firm believer in that.
You just had 3 kid cart dads throw their beers at the screen.
Well, it's a fun class, so that's the problem.
Yeah, and that's always kind of tough, right? Because it's a national. Where do you draw the line between the kid carts, and are we going to get the entries, and is that the right format, or wait till they age out and go to cadet?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in 8 years old. Or your option year 7 now, because there is kid cart. That's when the kids mature enough and they start listening and they actually retain it.
Yeah.
I have a 6-year-old and I have absolutely no sour feelings about not having kid cards. He would rather go play with his cousins or Hot Wheels or Mario Kart, whatever it is.
Mario Kart, yeah.
All right.
Gregory Stone's asking, any 80 shifters?
Not at the Nationals. There is some 80 shifters at our club that we combine with the shifter class.
Yeah,
absolutely. I believe we had 12 shifters, and 10 of them were 125s and two were 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, but not at the Nationals. We have that 125 class that's pretty big, and then we're going to add a heavy class, a heavy 206 class. We have a heavy class at our Reno club, and it's actually our biggest class consistently. So,
what do you use on those carts? Like 34 millimeter tubing?
No, I don't.
Solid.
390.
390.
Right.
Is that the weight? Is 390?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so slow.
Yeah, I'm not going to get on the weight tangent because I've done it too many times, but
yeah,
people have seen me at the track. I'm not like 120 pounds anymore. And when I have to strap 40 or 50 pounds onto my Briggs cart to go run senior, they really need to look at those weight classes. And I think we lose a lot of the junior kids going to senior because the dads look at it, it's like, I don't want 60, 70, 80 pounds on my kid's sled. If they, I don't even know if they can even physically go over with that much weight, but that's a lot of mass to bolt to a cart.
It is. It's the weights are ridiculous.
Yeah.
We won't talk about that.
All right. Will Nationals have a senior light and heavy class?
So with the limited schedule that we're given, we're allowed to add 2 classes. So we will have the regular medium and we'll have the heavy and the masters. So there'll be a solid 3 classes.
Those will be the 2 you're adding.
Yeah.
Yeah, local option.
Okay.
Not light, but I mean, we could add light or heavy, and I think we just decided on heavy because that's what we have a solid heavy class in our club.
Okay.
So Joshua Lowe's, I am 32, 185 pounds, and I have 10 pounds of weight to make weight in senior. Are you sure you're 185? I've seen you. You look like a linebacker.
All right, so we do have some questions for Cole. Randy, so Randy kind of wanted to share a memory. He said Jeff let Terry drive Cole's junior sportsman cart at Atwater to help us get into karting. It was great help without buying a cart. So that's awesome.
My dad's always about having fun, helping people out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always tough, right? I mean, Cole, you run a business, and it's like, I know CCKRA, they did a free arrive and drive program for people to try a cart. I think all of us in the sport, if money was no issue, I think all of us would throw everybody we could in a cart for free. But maybe that's something we need to all work together on collectively here in NorCal, in Reno, and the surrounding tracks. Like, okay, doing these arrive and drive deals and trying to get just to expose it to the public. Like, I know Reno does. You guys do a lot of stuff up there that are kind of not outside the box, but just above and beyond what other clubs or promoters are doing. Have you guys done something like that recently?
We have a few members that are willing to just toss up a cart and sure, ride this one, or just buy a junk cart off of Craigslist and fix it up and sell it for nothing and get people started into the club. I'll definitely have a cart out there that most of the time where it's maintained but people I have it out there so people can run it.
Yeah.
But like you said, there's that balance.
Yeah, CCKRA, they said they had like 200 people go through the cart.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and they were only going to do like 3 hours, and they ended up doing it the whole day.
Yeah, more events like that would make karting a little bit more noticed for sure.
Yeah.
It's one of the most common things we get out here in Reno. It's like, I didn't even know there was a kart track in Reno. And it's like, well, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right, here's another one. So.
Cadet with the 60 shifter. That's bitching. What's it like carrying the... Oh, wait.
I think this is a two-parter.
Let's leave that. I'm going to leave the question up, Ashley. But
okay.
Cadet with an 60cc shifter. That's bitching. So, Cole, what was your favorite engine package to drive in all of your years of racing?
Man, I don't know. Once you start shifting, it's hard to go back. From shifting. But I want to say that I probably had more solid races with the KT100. Just the competition, the size of fields, and just good races in the KT100. I'd say was my favorite engine package.
But if I asked you like right now, hey Cole, we're going to go to your track of your choice. I have every card available for you. What do you want to just go drive?
I don't know. Shifters are fun, but I like direct drives, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Direct drive 100cc kind of thing is an amazing package if you ask me. I think that's the purest as it gets,
Formula Y,
100%.
Formula Y, nice.
When Alon brought the first IAMEs over, and we were running them at Dixon, I believe it was. It was a spec race. He brought it was a junior race. I can't remember if they were seniors or not, but he brought over like 15 motors, and they were direct drive 100cc's.
Yeah, it was the IAME engine, and they called it the National Cup.
Yeah, and it was and we P-picked motors. It was a cool race. And then after practice, we put them back on the table and we re-P-picked. And then we raced our motors.
Yeah, nice.
It was cool. But direct drive, it's just you get tons of grip. and you can't make mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the second part of Dan's comment, or gear nuts, what's it like carrying the torch from your dad as a business?
I love karting and I love Invader. And I don't think I would be doing anything else. I love it to death. As far as I don't know. It's a great thing. I don't know how to put it into words really.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, right. It's a lifestyle. It's tattooed across my back. Invader. We have a saying. It's Invader for life. Without my dad, I wouldn't be where I am. So, it's just an honor to carry on my dad's business and my grandpa's business. Him and those two started it, and they're really the ones that I have to thank for where I am.
And do they started out of San Jose?
Yeah. Yep.
So why don't you jump into the history a little bit? The San Jose Cal Kart shop.
Yeah, I mean, it all started with them racing go-karts that weren't Invaders, and they were breaking, and basically they just decided, we can build them better, and they started building them, and it evolved from there. My grandpa ran the shop in Milpitas, which was the manufacturing shop, and then they opened up a retail store in downtown San Jose. So the manufacturing was in Milpitas, and the retail was in San Jose, and my dad was doing the retail, and my grandpa was doing the manufacturing. All in-house. Everything was in-house. It was 100%, American-made everything. They did road race carts, oval carts, sprint carts, and that's how it all got started.
Yeah. Now, are you still manufacturing mini bikes?
No.
No.
That imports killed that. There's not a whole lot of market for mini bike sales anymore. Unfortunately, I mean that was a big part of my dad's salary was phone carts and mini bikes. Yeah.
I remember one time at Dixon, I don't know who was riding the thing, but your dad showed up with his loud mini bike, and I don't know what it had in it, like a V8 or something ridiculous, but it had to do like 80 miles an hour down the straightaway. And it's like, what is this? Like, why? Why would someone do this?
Yeah, he currently has a scooter that does about 70. And it goes 70. Yeah.
I just picture little 3-inch wheels trying to do 70 miles an hour.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
So Milpitas, San Jose downtown. You have the Cal Kart shop, as your retail store, and then eventually you guys, as a family, moved out to the Atwater area.
Right. The Cal Kart's a landmark in San Jose. Anyone from San Jose knows where Cal Kart was. I mean, that's how prominent of a place it was. Cal Kart was an amazing store. 6,000 square feet, checkered floor. It's just not racing's not quite like that anymore. But anyways, we moved to Atwater, and then we moved it all into one shop out there, and we were about a quarter mile from the track, and my house was another quarter mile the other way. And we spent a good 10 years in Atwater. And then then we closed the doors in like 2007, I'd say, something like that. And I reopened it in 2012.
So what did you do in between?
Just being a 20-year-old. A little bit of racing here and there. Yeah. And then finally I, got my bearings and decided I wanted to go racing again and started building go-karts again.
Now, are you still using the original jigs?
Yeah, they're a jig that my grandpa designed. Actually, it's fully adjustable. It's a rotisserie style jig. So I mean, it's pretty versatile. I can build one type of chassis on one side and one type of chassis on the other side, and I can adjust for anything that I want to. So.
And then who does all your welding?
I do it all, Jason. I'm a one-man show here. I do fabricating.
You're cutting the tubes and welding and everything?
Bend the tubes and notch them and then build the frame from the ground up. And then I go race them, you know?
Oh, wow.
I don't know anyone else in the industry that can say that. You know?
You have a visitor.
Say hi.
Live on YouTube.
Yeah, you're live. You better not say anything.
So you're notching the tubes, you're cutting the tubes, you're bending the tubes, you're welding them up.
Yep.
And then when we say you, we're not talking about you and an employee. It's you.
Nope, it's me. You know, I'm a daddy by day for sure, and then karting's a secondary thing for me. Here, come on. Now you say bye to everybody. So see you later, NorCal. Yeah, buddy. All right, but I gotta do this here for a little bit, okay?
Oh, you have a singer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how many chassis are you spitting out a year?
You know, about 20.
Okay.
Yeah, not a whole lot. You know, the volume's not super high, but okay, come on. Time out. Yeah.
I love it when the kids are just impromptu.
I know.
My daughter keeps saying, "Oh, I'm gonna come on. I'm gonna come on." It's like, well, then come on someday. And then she'll sit over here. And
that was me last weekend. Mine was at the door, and I was all mute.
Yeah, that's right. I heard it in the pre-show. Like, what is going on in the background over there?
All right. If anybody has any questions for Cole, please put them in the chat. While we're waiting, Jason, what else is happening in NorCal?
NorCal. So, like I mentioned earlier today, we had just our audio podcast of upcoming events. So let's see here. Our recent live streams, we had Challenge of the Americas. We did that recap show where Christian Cameron and Preston Lambert came on. Rock Sonoma race number 1. We also have those events were live streamed, so they're still on YouTube. Rock Sonoma 2021 Awards. That was a couple weeks ago. Then recently, we talked about ADCC track takeover at Prairie City this past weekend. Davis Kart Club, Northern Nevada Kart Club, they had a race, and that was all this past weekend. And then coming up in the next 3 or 4 weeks, let's see here. NorCal Mondays, that's right now. Cole Nelson, he's right there. Next weekend, April 10th, KPX is heading to Davis. April 11th, which is a Monday, we're doing a club race reports. So it's an open call. If you are participating in a NorCal club event and you want to do a race report for us, come on the show. Let's see here. April 17th, Prairie City, 4-stroke weekend. That same weekend is a Karts and Coffee down in Modesto. Our buddy Dan Tan, who's Gear Nuts on YouTube, he's the one that kind of is pulling guys together to piggyback off of a Cars and Coffee event. So they do that every 3rd Sunday of the month. Let's see here. April 18th, we are going to have a how to get started in karting. That's going to be a Monday live stream just like this. How to get started in karting. It's going to be an open Q&A format. We're going to have some special guests. We're going to have Xandra Clements from Kart Chaser. We're going to have James McMahon from Kart Pulse. We're going to have Lisa Caceres from Race Karts Inc. And then we're going to have a new racer. His name's Mike Walden. He raced this past weekend out at Davis. He runs a Masters Brid class. And he asked if he could come on the show to give insight as a new guy into the sport for the first year. And I thought that was an interesting and important perspective. So he'll join us. And we have a spot open for maybe 1 or 2 more people. And that's what's going on the next 3 weeks in NorCal Carters. Let's see.
All right. While that came up, oh, that's for us.
What's for us?
It says, is NorCal Carters covering any dirt kart racing or just asphalt?
So right now, NorCal Carters is specifically sprint asphalt racing. I would love to break into the dirt stuff. I cannot BS enough and pretend like I know what I'm doing. I've been to probably 2 dirt oval outlaw kart races my whole life. So if there's somebody that wants to pick up that side of it and do coverage, Gil, absolutely, we will include that. And Ashley and I were talking about that earlier this week, where NorCal Carters right now is really just sprint asphalt. And we have the outlaw guys, the outlaw carts, that is a huge segment of karting. It's just different. So yeah, if you have somebody in mind that wants to piggyback off our show, put me in contact with them, because I actually made phone calls last week. I spoke to QRC. The gentleman's name was Daryl. So I was actually, calling around and really talking about the old outlaw stuff. So again, I'm not the right guy to talk about it, but NorCal Carters as a website and as a live stream can definitely host it if we can bring someone on that is the expert in that field. And then we do the road racing too. So as Cole knows, I mean, you have, depends on what rule book you read, speedway, enduro. Then you say road racing, but then you tell an enduro guy, "Oh, I road raced." Well, you're not an enduro guy, so I don't know. I just know in my head, road racing is over a mile, you're hauling ass, and enduro, you're kind of laying down, staring at the sun, going even faster. So did I miss anything? So yeah, that's NorCal Carters. So we're not ignoring the dirt. I'm just right now. That's not my background. So
yeah, let us know. Let us know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Gil owns an Invader and he drives for me. He does both. He has a heavy background in oval racing.
In what racing?
Oval racing.
Oval racing. Okay.
Yeah, all types of oval racing, right? So yeah, something that Invader is thinking about dipping into for sure again here in the future.
I mean, I have some contacts in the industry where I know drivers looking for free sponsorship. So if you want to get in the dirt and you want to sponsor people, I may know 1 or 2 drivers. But are you really thinking about getting into the dirt on a serious note?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a cool market. I've done a fair share of oval racing, and I won my first national championship. Me and Gil were just talking about this today. I won my first national on the dirt oval in Newman, California, Hills Ferry. But my dad's made oval carts, forever. And they're popular, and they still are. People still use them till this day. And I don't have the square footage to expand into that right this second. But here in the future, I will. So definitely thinking about, they call them flat carts nowadays. I would say that's the uneducated. It's just like a sprint cart that runs on the oval and the dirt. They have those. They have like what I would call like a wing cart, but it's not an outlaw cart. It's like it's like a wedge. It's a wedge basically.
Okay.
And they run I think it's an open class, and they run 450 and up on them basically. It's pretty big, and they have nice purses, and here in America.
So something like a QRC brand. What would you call that? Are you calling that a flat cart, or would that be an outlaw?
That's an outlaw. Absolutely.
That's an outlaw. Okay.
Yeah, that's an outlaw cart. Yeah.
And then, so do they manufacture flat carts as well, or no?
QRC is just outlaw carts.
Okay.
I don't know that they make anything else. I don't believe they do.
Okay, so you're not really going the outlaw direction. You're looking at.
We'll go both. I mean,
you go both. Okay.
You can just plug a floppy cage right on an offset cart, and have it perform well. We did it in the past with like Dylan Albiani, for example. When he was a junior one, we put him in one of those right there. A box stock is what they're going to call it. And we taught him how to pass. You're on a little bull ring, and he was a little timid in passing, so we stuck him in one of our Invader Outlaw carts. And
Okay.
yeah, and said, hey, dude, the only way you're gonna pass somebody on this thing is help. You know, you got to help them out of the way, basically.
So since we're talking about the outlaw stuff, what's a website I could look up real quick for the flat cart?
You know, Phantom. I know Phantom makes a lot of. Look up anything back east. MGM. I know Paul Rice is pretty heavy. At least he used to be. He does sprint carts now, but yeah.
You Paul Rice. Is that you said that's MGM?
What's that?
You said that's MGM.
MGM. Yeah. Paul Rice. It's Espionage, or I'm not sure his oval brand.
God, okay.
Yeah.
I think a few of those popped up in California recently. Or not recently, but the past few years.
For sure. Yep.
Oh, Unlimited All-Stars, Gil, that shit is badass. Like, oh my, are you kidding me? I'm not an expert on it, but I'm very familiar with Unlimited All-Stars from when I worked at Sweet Tech. I love their rule book.
That's what I was telling you. It's basically, it's a wedge cart that's open.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we could stick 2 Rotaxes on there if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have some sprint guys like Kyle Wick and his brother Connor Wick. They run the Unlimited All-Star stuff.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like the rule book is literally what is it? 100 cc to 270 cc on a 2-stroke cylinder. We don't care what you do to get there.
Yeah.
If you're over this cc, you add 5 pounds. Like it just. The rule book was just like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bring up that flat cart. You said it was Phantom. So give me a second here.
Phantom chassis.
So Cole, while we're waiting for Jason, where can we find Cole Nelson Racing this year in 2022? Where are you guys going to be at?
All over the map. You know, we're going to be racing heavily at Reno because we have the nationals. We're gonna be you know, traveling to some fun races. You know, we're gonna go to the Beaver Cup, I believe, which is in Pat Acres. That's coming up in May. We'll be at the Spud Cup in Idaho in September. We are going to try to make Horn Rapids in Washington for the shootout. You know, go up to the Northwest a little bit this year and hit some good, solid 4-cycle races. You know, we also we're going to make the trip out to Denton, Texas, and I believe that'll be the Texas Sprint Kart Series third or fourth race of their season. I have family that moved out to Texas, and we're going to go out there and visit them and hit a race while we're out there. Should be a fun little race weekend. Also, we will be at CKNA this year again at the Grand Nationals, which is in Indiana.
So educate me a little bit here. I know what CKNA is as far as I've seen it, but what is the draw? Like, why are you taking your guys there? And I'm not trying to say that real quickly, so I can get this off the screen. This is the Unlimited All-Star car. This is Diotti's car. So, yeah, these things are freaking badass.
Yeah.
I mentioned Kyle Wick. I should have found his car, too. But I just knew I could find Ryan Diotti's car fast. But, so, yeah, what is the attraction to CKNA? For you as a shop? I mean, it's not cheap just to throw everything in a trailer, travel it across the country. Why are you guys doing it?
For racing. You know, it's just the huge fields.
Okay.
Just to sum it up, I mean, for me, it's the racing. I mean, I don't race that often anymore, you know, because, you know, like you said, I've been doing it forever, right? I've won a lot of races. You know, I've been through a lot, and you know, last year was our first trip to CKNA Nationals, and I built a kart, you know, for myself. This is the first time I've ever done that since I started making go-karts again. You know, I mean, just to go run the CKNA race. It's tight 206 racing. You know, I think that's what the draw is. I mean, the motor package has been solid for 10 years now, and you know, the fields are huge, and it's on one of the premier racetracks in the nation. So,
is it always at Newcastle?
It is.
Okay.
It has been, you know, for as long as they've been holding it. Last year was the 5th one, and it's been at Newcastle every year. I ran Charlotte last year. I didn't get a chance to run it this year, but it was the first spring nationals they had.
Okay.
Yeah, Charlotte just got repaved. Beautiful facility.
Now, did you happen to go back to Charlotte when you were younger? Back, what was it, 98 or 99?
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I ran Man Cup there with Kyle Atkins. Yep. Race against drivers like Chris Wareheim and Mike Geeson, and you know, all the East Coast kids. Brandon Atkins. You know.
Yeah, it's amazing how, you know, the man cup, and then they actually had a CIK event. It was either before or after that, and it's just one of those events that kind of sticks in my head of like, wow, like we had a CIK World Championship here on the mainland, and Charlotte was the hosting track.
Pretty epic.
Yeah, give me one moment. Say something to Ashley. I'm bringing up Newcastle.
Okay, so we did have a question earlier for Cole. In your opinion, is karting different from the 80s?
Bodywork. One word. Bodywork. Yeah, you know, when I first started karting, it was, you know, it was more of a back of the truck. I won my first national out of the back of an El Camino. You know, it wasn't all these teams and stuff. There was manufacturers and stuff, but there wasn't necessarily the whole team atmosphere. We were all just kind of racers, you know, and that's changed a lot. And the bodywork, you know, I would say the bodywork is the second thing that's different. You know, steel bumpers, you know, side panels, and just a small rear bumper. That was the you know, the weight of the go-kart has changed tremendously with the addition of the bodywork, and you know, that's a different topic that I don't really want to go down, but the bodyworks really ruined racecraft. So.
Well, you just answered my next question.
Yeah.
We don't even have to go down the rabbit hole. I mean, you just flat out said it.
Yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything.
Yeah.
All right, right? I'm not. I'll tell you what I think. You know, I mean, the bodywork. It's, you know, I just did a lead follow with my junior 2 kids at Reno. You know, and I can get down to like 335 pounds with no weight. So, you know, I really got to draft them and be on my marks to keep up with them at 310, right? You know, but, you know, it's like, you guys don't hit me in the middle of the corner, right? We're not going to help each other out that way, you know? And it's just with the giant target on the bumper, you know, it's just, the racecraft has really dwindled.
Yeah. So you were talking earlier about the CKNA. So this is the track, Newcastle.
Yeah. So oddly enough, you know, I mean, this track, it's been around for a number of years now, and this is the first time I ever been there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You know, Newcastle had a handful of huge races, right? You know, Scusa goes there all the time. You know, just their club series has a solid 206 turnout. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to borrow someone's shifter cart when you're out there.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt. It's just a beautiful racetrack. I love it.
Yeah. But I mean, back to the bodywork thing.
We ran some crazy stuff. We went into the oval, and then we did the ski jump last year. it was pretty wild. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many different layouts, and I have not been out there since the oval was there last time I was there, but
Yeah.
we didn't utilize it. And then yeah, now they're doing the oval. There's like a whole nother track back there. It's like
There is.
it's got to be like a 32-minute lap time in a Briggs.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
Like, how many races is it? Well, it's 2 laps for an hour.
Yeah. No. Okay. So yeah, I've never been to Newcastle, right? Never been to Newcastle. I'm racing the premier class CIK medium, which is 206 medium at 360 pounds. There's 80 entries practically, and we get 4 or 5 laps of practice session, right? And I never, and it's like by the time qualifying rolls around, I've logged about 21 laps. It's like,
Yeah.
cool, ready to go.
Yeah, but that was 50 miles.
It was a lot of miles for sure.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful track. They've done a great job out there.
Yep. Really, really a fun race.
So you're looking forward to going back to that one?
We are
Okay.
the whole team. I mean, we took 11 drivers there last year, I believe it was, or 12, and we'll probably have the same this year, if not more. I'm gonna have to take 2 trailers.
Are you doing a ride and drive for that race or no?
Yeah. Yep. Nathan Lavery actually drove in Masters.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, running a ride and did it. I mean, it's not every day you get to go drive against 50 Masters halfway across the country, right?
Yeah. And it's a beautiful track. Like, for those that don't know, if you're just a karting fan and you just like cool tracks, Newcastle has to be on your bucket list. Like, it has to be.
No doubt. And it's the time of year where it rains and then it doesn't. So the last 3 years it's been at least somewhat in the rain for some of the heats. So you get a good dose of karting.
Yeah, and then just to clarify for me, were you saying that this will be the first year you're going to run Newcastle, or it was last year you ran it when you built the kart?
Last year.
Last year, okay.
Last year was the first time I went to Newcastle.
Last year, okay.
Ended up 5th.
That was my next question. How'd you end up?
I ended up 5th. It was decent, I mean, for a 32-year-old and senior, with never been to Newcastle, I thought I did pretty good. Yeah. Ran in the lead a little bit. And it was always a question of was it going to be wet or dry, and we just, it was tough circumstances.
Now, are you gonna race again this year?
I'm undecided.
Just do it.
Normally, if I'm going to race a big race like that, I kind of put a plan together, and I did last year. I ran Charlotte, and then I ran the Spud Cup, and then I ran Newcastle. So
Okay.
I got a handful of races under my belt before I go, race against 80 other guys. This year I haven't done that, but I am gonna for sure go with the whole team. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard too if you're a one-man show, and then you're thinking you're going to have 11 or more customers.
Yeah.
That's a lot of responsibility, and your customers are really looking after you. For like, I'm sure all of them was like, oh, it'd be cool if Cole raced, but being that we're all selfish racers, they're thinking, hey, I want Cole's attention.
100%. And my customers won't tell me that, and I feel bad when I'm at the racetrack racing, right? I mean, that's the number one thing. It's like,
Now, where would you go? Like, if you just wanted to get away, like, you don't want to be Cole Nelson racing for a day. You just want to go race. Like, is it even possible for you to escape? Or
yeah, absolutely. It's good for our health, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be able to do that in life. So I'm pretty good at that. Yeah.
Would you show up with a trailer, or would you just throw a cart in the back of the truck and just go?
Probably in the back of the truck, and just go. NKC is really close, and I do a lot of laps out there, and just a full-size cart and a kid cart fits right in the back of my truck perfectly. So, just get out there and go go with my kid.
Yeah.
That's nice, for sure.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't really understand, like when you're so invested in the industry and it's your livelihood. It's hard just to go to a track and just like not work. I mean, I'm pretty good at not working, so it's not an issue for me. But I just see it all the time. All these guys go to the track, it's like, and you have carts everywhere, so
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
not like you're going to show up to a cart track and not see one of your products.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's definitely it becomes stressful for sure.
Yeah,
And I think that's why I kind of lean a little bit towards the 206 side or the 4-cycle side or even the club side of things. It's just a little less stressful, and then I've been down every racing path, and lots of money and high stress situations and all that stuff. And I think the funnest for me is teaching new people, all just giving my knowledge to them and stuff. So I think club racing is probably my favorite.
the club racing is your favorite.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just nice to get new people involved, and then you'll come by a kid that's just like super passionate about it, and it just revives that love for racing in your heart.
Yeah. No, and it is interesting though. I don't, how the club is so different than your national level races.
Right, right. And the Briggs is awesome. I just we can go race against 400 other drivers at a relatively cheap price. And they're all as good as the next guy.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's important too for new people to understand. It's a good, if you're really not sure about a karting budget, etc. The Briggs is a great place to start because you either can afford racing or you can't. And I mean, you've been around it forever, and you've already stated multiple times, like, well, it's affordable racing, which is nice.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Yeah,
what I
and when a lot of people show up, it is a lot of fun. One of my recently more enjoyable race weekends was out at Davis when Patrick Newton was doing the what did he call it, the GT class?
Right. Yep.
And I think we had like 35 or 40 guys on the track at the same time, and it was a mix of the 206. We had a couple World Formulas out there, some of those clone Predator turd things. I mean, it's not like Harbor Freight's going to ever sponsor my show. So,
yeah.
But I was out in the back. It was my first race, and I intentionally said I want to start in the back and kind of do the X driver thing. And working, and I was like, after I was done racing, I was like, man, that was a lot of fun. It's like it was a race to 49 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But
right.
It was just so much fun with all those guys, and the racing is. I'm a shifter guy. If I see a hole, I'm throwing it in there. Well, Briggs, like you see a hole, you throw it in there, and you lose your momentum. Then you get freight trained by 400 people.
Yeah.
Like I really had to adapt to that different racing style.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. I think it teaches you the mechanics of racing.
Yeah, it teaches you that racecraft and setting things up and you can't be patient, right?
Yeah.
All of us have stood on the fence and said, throw it in there, but it's different. You gotta be able to make that quick execution pass without losing your momentum because you don't have a gearbox, you don't have horsepower, you don't have anything where you just get on the gas pedal and go, okay, that's going to screw me up for the next corner.
Absolutely. I mean, I was just talking to a couple of my kids about driving, 4-cycle racing when you're trying to stay in the lead pack with somebody, but you're still racing with someone behind you, or you're trying to stay with the guy in front of you. You got to keep your momentum up, or you got to think about opportunities where to pass where you're not going to lose all your momentum. It's definitely a fun type of racing. And then if someone passes you and kills all your momentum and you lose the lead pack, you can fight them in the scale house if you want.
That sounds like NASCAR.
I remember when watching David like in Yamahas and being like, oh, this is tight, right? And then he switched over to like 206 and I was like, are you gonna pass him or no? Like, what's happening? And he's like, momentum, actually, momentum. And I was like, oh, this one doesn't go as fast as the other one. And he's like, no, don't ever say that again. But I was just like, gosh, why does it look like you're going so slow? And he's like, because I am.
Yeah, it's a race to 49 miles an hour.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So Ryan and Kim Mitchell. Cole needs to race Dylan.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's Dylan Albiani.
Right.
I got Cole. All right, Cole.
I find it interesting though, because it's like to me Cole's still a junior driver, and I really don't know Dylan's background or anything else, but I know the name, and the name in my head is a junior driver. And then you just said, Cole, you're what, 32 now?
No, I have 34.
Oh, you're 34. Yeah, you're not even my kid, and you just made me feel old.
Wow.
Yep.
I still got youngsters calling me out. Look at that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's go down the list real quick, see if we have any other questions we may have missed. So if you have any last-second questions or comments for Cole Nelson, chime in.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
All right, Cole. This is when you can do your final thoughts, shout-outs, and plug your team.
You know, I do want to say we have a 3-race series in Reno. That's like it's basically like the road to the Nationals. It is the May 22nd race, August 27th, and September 25th. If you come run those races, it's like a 3-race mini series at our club. And if you win the championship in those 3 races, you get a free entry to the IKF Grand Nationals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have someone on the board email us that information. We'll get on the website.
For sure. Yeah, it's a 3-race mini series.
Do you have a name for it?
I think.
NNKC Shootout or IKF Shootout.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the name is, but I'll get with my wife and she'll send you guys some stuff on that. Yep. Don't have to be a member. You know, you can show up and run those 3 races and win the championship.
So champion gets a free entry to IKF.
Yep.
And does that include tires, fuel, everything?
You know, I think it includes tires for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I guess fuel. You guys don't do fuel for the Briggs.
Yeah. Right. Other than that, it's good, man.
All right. Any shout outs for your team? And
Do you have any shout outs for your team, Cole?
What do you mean?
Like any special thanks or anything?
Yeah, way to go, guys.
Thanks for listening.
No, thanks for having me, guys.
Well, thanks for being on.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to come and tell us about the Nationals and your history in karting and all that stuff. So thank you, Cole. And Jason, do you want to close out?
No, you close out.
Okay.
And then I'll just do my normal thingy. You close it out, and then wrap the show up with the next 3 or 4 weeks of NorCal Mondays.
All right. All right. Thanks, Cole.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Cole.
Bye. Have a good night.
Yep.
Good luck this weekend.
Hey, thanks. We're gonna
Yeah, have a safe travel over the hill.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Jason.
Oh yeah, that's me. I guess so. If we got rid of Cole, then I'm here. So, all right, everybody, thank you for watching, and I'll just make it real quick. Check NorCalCarters.com out. We got a lot of new stuff coming up over the next couple of weeks. YouTube. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We finally went over the 405 subscriber mark, so thank you for your support of the live streams and the how-to videos, etc. And just remember, if we all get one person into karting, we'll double by next year.
All right, thanks, Jason. Okay, so for coming up shows, our call outs are going to be for race reporters from Prairie City, NCK, CCKRA, NNKC, and Sonoma for their events coming up. We are going to have a how to get into karting show. I believe that one is standby list only now. And then we are going to have another junior show. And that one, I am going to be reaching out. There is a standby list if you are a junior trying to get on that show. Kart Moms show. Yes, we are still doing a Kart Moms show the Monday after Mother's Day. That show also might have a standby list as well. So if you are a mom, or if you do have a mom that wants to be on that show, you got to hit me up as soon as possible because our spots are filling up. All right. And like Jason said earlier, we're looking for numbers, pictures of carts with numbers, and a sequence of 0 through 60 for our countdown video. So if you have a cart between numbers 0 and 60, send us a picture so you can be on our countdown opening as well. All right, have a great night, NorCal. And if you want to talk about karting, come on our show. Peace.